My transition from Young Savage to Shawn Smith, it was a very necessary transition because, um, I've decided if I put something out to the world, I thought about legacy more. You know what I mean? I started respecting the art of rap a lot more, respecting the world around me and God's children and myself and God more. So I kind of just learned respect. So since I respected the game so much, I wanted to give them something that was real, something that was genuine, something that was like just everything I put into my art is 110%, 200%. And just because I respect the game so much and I respect the future generation, I want them to be able to hear things of some substance. I said that wrong, but you know what I mean? Like things of substance. And I feel like what we put out, we ultimately get back. So I'm not really into putting out BS and stuff like that. So I feel like as Young Savage, I put out a lot of BS, and I wouldn't really just call it BS because it served its purpose. It was a great time and experience for everybody, and it was fun. It was dope. So I won't say it's BS. That's bad, but I'm just saying it didn't have as much substance as I liked it to have. So I figure if I'm going to give them the real me, I got to give them my real name. I got to give them my real story. And I got to just really talk about something that people can hold on to as good food and really build a legacy, you feel me? I would say surrounding myself with other people who I feel like are in harmony of the things that I create really helps take what I'm trying to do to the next level. Listening to great advice and knowing when to decipher great advice from bad advice. And usually bad advice is attached to emotion instead of logic. So knowing how to separate the two. Staying in prayer is definitely important. You got to pray for growth. And just challenging yourself and listening to new things. Like I love listening to new music, different types of music. And ultimately you find yourself just with listening to more music, you have more and more inspiration. So when you create, you're sounding like you, but you're sounding like all these things that you heard. You're just kind of like imitating, because no idea is really new under the sun. I mean, we're original to some extent, but, somebody, you know what I mean, before us, so that's why we sample a lot and everything. But all that to say, I really can create. I really create from inspiration, being inspired by other artists, you know what I mean, and having creative and people whose minds I respect around me. Because there's one thing to being an incredible rapper, and I feel like as far as pen, I've not peaked, but I've just mastered like writing lyrics. But it's another thing to be able to put the right people together for certain things for production, knowing what does sound good, knowing who can do this, know what doesn't sound good, knowing when the song gets boring, so you want this to come in and you have to bring, just arranging it. And I think that from just working around, I got that from working around other creative producers that I work with now. So knowing how to put something together really plays a big part in elevating your sound, and the people around you elevate as well. Well, first, I'm a lover of Jesus Christ for sure. So that's who I pray to, and pray for the discernment to be able to tell these stories in a way that will come out dope. So that's where I get the spirit from. But as far as as far as words, I've been rapping since I was maybe 10 years old, writing lyrics and stuff. And progressively throughout the years, you really learn the art of rapping. You start to learn that certain words trigger certain emotions in people. And, you could say it this way, but if you said it this way, they'll feel it more. You know what I mean? And certain syllables take a part in, trying not to say too much, but keeping it minimal enough and trying to fit it into a punchline. Another thing is trying to tell a story, but putting a punchline in the middle of the story to the point where it's not too left so they won't lose them, but it still makes sense for what we're talking about, and being able to continue the story. All on top of that, being able to rhyme everything. So it's really an art. It's like puzzle pieces. It's you're just putting things together, seeing what work, deleting stuff. And, it's a fun art. And I'm happy to be able to do it. And honestly, I surprise myself a lot. because I just love rap so much.